Welcome again. I'm your host, Biro, and on this show called Biro Sports Talk. So let's go ahead, point out down here below Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We are on all platforms. But let's go ahead and dive into. Whoa. There we go. Alright. Let's dive into some NBA trade deadline. So, of course, we're going to talk about the NCAA. It's a big topic. We'll go into that after the trade deadline. So, there's 5 winners, 2 losers, according to this ESPN article by Kevin Pelton. They say the Nets are winners. The Nets are just acquiring as much talent as possible. So, yeah, not surprised. Losers, the Lakers. Lakers didn't add any pieces, but they don't feel like they need to add any pieces. Which I get why they would be considered losers. Denver Nuggets added some pieces. Aaron Gordon, for one. So, a lot of talent there now on the Nuggets. Another winner, just the free agency in general. Excuse me. Luxury tax distribution, yeah. The buyout market, and of course the Heat. Trevor Ariza, Namanja Jalagit, yeah. And don't forget Oladipo for the Heat. But the most recent trade, of course, I've been reading about is J.J. Redick going to the Mavs. The Pelicans getting some younger players. But let's go down through some of these trades. So some of these trades that happened during the trade deadline. You got George Hill, Ignas Brazdeikis getting traded to the Thunder for George Hill and Brazdeikis going to the Sixers. The Thunder get Tony Bradley, Austin Rivers, and 2 second-round picks. And the Knicks get Terrence Ferguson. Rajon Rondo is going to be a Clipper. Lou Williams is going to the Hawks and get 2 future second-round picks. Here's the deal I was just talking about. J.J. Redick and Nicolo Melli going to the Mavericks. The Pelicans are getting James Johnson and Wes Iwundu and a second-round pick. Just real quick on that one. Great pickup. JJ's struggling a little bit this year, but they expect him to bounce back with this recent trade. Houston. Oladipo's going to the Heat. The Rockets get Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and first-round swap rights. Blazers traded Rodney Hood and Gary Trent Jr. as the Raptors got rid of Norman Powell in the trade. That's interesting. Raptors get some wing players and some younger guys, even though I think Powell's pretty young as well. Celtics got Evan Fournier for 2 second-round picks. Fournier is a good player. He's going to bring something to the Celtics. He's always been a great scorer, shooter. From how I've used him in 2K, from watching him live, it's been shooting, but it'll be interesting to see what he does moving forward with the Celtics. The Nuggets traded away Gary Harris and R.J. Hampton in a protected first-round pick for Aaron Gordon and Gary Clark from the Magic. Gordon finally getting his wish to leave. Couldn't have gone to a better team in the Nuggets. The Magic officially blowing things up, though, as they also traded Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu to the Bulls. The Bulls sending away Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., and 2 first-round picks in 21 and 23. The Nuggets get JaVale McGee as the Cavaliers get Isaiah Hartenstein, a 27 unprotected second round pick, and a protected 23 second round pick. Interesting for McGee to go to the Nuggets. The Kings acquire Delon Wright as the Pistons get Corey Joseph and 2 second round picks in 21 and 24. The Bucks did get PJ Tucker. That was a big deal. The Bucks in this trade get PJ Tucker, Rodion's Corex, and Bucks first round pick in 2020. Rockets DJ Augustine, DJ Wilson, 23 unprotected first round pick, 21 swap rights, and of course the Suns get Torrey Craig in this deal. The Heat also got Trevor Ariza. The Thunder already releasing Myers Leonard in this trade and a second round pick. So essentially it was just a second round pick in 27. Thunder also traded Hamido Dalio. And they got Svi Mahalik, a second round pick in 27. Man, testing how... this one is interesting. Rose returns to the Knicks. We knew Derrick Rose went to the Knicks, and Dennis Smith Jr. in a second round pick happened there. Rockets get Kevin Porter Jr. and the Cavaliers get a second round pick. We know about James Harden. All right. So now we're way, way back. But those are your NBA trades on this NBA trade deadline. Lamarcus Aldridge is one that's going to be talked about, of course. He's going to be a free agent signing somewhere. As we have already seen with Blake Griffin, he signed with the Nets. The Nets losing recently, but didn't start either of their star three. Kevin Durant, James Harden, or Kyrie Irving. But I'm sure what many of you would like to hear about, I will say, a little disappointed we didn't get a lot of people going for the tournament challenge this year, but maybe next year when it's picking up a little bit more, we'll have it. But let's start with the Saturday games. So Saturday, you got Oregon State versus Loyola Chicago. Now Loyola decimating Illinois, and Oregon State. Now I'm going to have to look. I thought it was better than that. It would have been Sunday. These are all Sunday games. Yep. And of course, Oregon State beating Oklahoma State by 10. Your other games. Just so I can see both. So I can do this. There we go. That says Sunday. That's not what I wanted. I want that day. There we go. Villanova plays Baylor. Villanova beating North Texas, who beat Purdue 84-61. And then you look at Baylor, who beat Wisconsin 76-63. Baylor looking like they should. Moving forward, Oral Roberts plays Arkansas. The magic of Oral Roberts beating Ohio State and Florida. Will it continue over to a team that beat Texas Tech by 2? Arkansas is a very talented SEC team, but we'll see what they can do. And your final game on Saturday, Syracuse and Houston. Houston beating Rutgers 63-60. Syracuse beating West Virginia 75-72. My picks in the second chance brackets: Loyola, Baylor, Arkansas, and Houston. Pretty simple. Keeping it very simple. On the Sunday games, which puts me on Monday. The wrong Monday. There we go. This first one's going to open a wound Creighton plays Gonzaga. Creighton beating OU 72-58. OU just couldn't put it together that game. They were with them, and then something happened that first half. I didn't get to finish watching the first half. But that second half was pretty good. Gonzaga just proving they're better. Beat Oklahoma 87-71. As you know, they're Gonzaga. They're going to beat you. Florida State plays Michigan. Florida State beating... Where are they? There they are. Florida State beating Colorado 71-53. Michigan beating LSU in a very good game 86-78. Next, UCLA, Bama. Bama, another SEC team, just demolished Maryland 96-77. And of course, you know, the little UCLA beat Abilene Christian, who beat Texas. Sounds right. UCLA 67-47. It's all very interesting. But that leaves one last matchup. Oregon versus USC. USC destroyed Kansas 85-51. 51. And Oregon destroyed Iowa 95-80 because Iowa didn't play any defense. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Gonzaga is who I choose, of course. Michigan over Florida State. Bama over UCLA. Looking at Oregon, USC. Who did I pick? Good question. We're going to look at my bracket. I chose USC. Oregon actually is a very talented team. Going with Oregon, we're changing it up. But that's okay. Oregon, they just are clicking at the right time, in my opinion. USC could easily win this. After that, though, with who I have predicted, I have Houston still winning in the Final Four. I got Baylor, got Gonzaga, and got Michigan. Teams to watch. Loyola, man. Loyola's got it going on. They're going to be a very interesting team. Another team to watch as far as who to play. Let's go over to the second day. Bama's going to be a team to watch. Even though they're going to probably roll UCLA, how they match up with Michigan will say a lot. Even though I'm picking Michigan, it'll be something intriguing. Now, Houston is a team that I think is on upset alert. If it's not Syracuse, it very well could be the next team in Loyola. Or Oregon State if Oregon State wins. But Syracuse is a very surprising shooting team. They've been hot. And I think that might make all the difference for them against Houston. Houston struggling, of course, being a defensive team. So what is next? Well, in free agency of the NFL, there's been some interesting signees already. So here's an article for biggest head scratchers, best and worst signings, best value deals, gut reactions, and more on a lot of these NFL free agent signings. The most head scratching by Matt Bowen is Kenyon Drake to the Raiders. I have to agree, you were a number one with the Cardinals, I believe, just to be a backup to Josh Jacobs. I find that very interesting. I want Mike Clay saying Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne to the Patriots. Them paying them a lot of money when they could have had Will Fuller, Marvin Jones, or John Brown, Brashard Perriman, Tyrell Williams. What? A lot of people question the Drake to the Raiders, and I agree. Josh Jacobs, volume runner. It's interesting. Best overall free agent move. Bowen again's going with Hunter Henry, Janu Smith. Great tight end signings. Mike Clay's going with John Johnson, Jalen Ramsey, and Aaron. Oh, sorry. I got a little excited. Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald still play for the Rams, but John Johnson III is going to the Browns. Good safety, I believe. Not corner, or is he corner? Yeah, he's a corner. The Cowboys re-signing Dak Prescott is Kevin Seifert's pick. And the last person in this article, Seth Walder, is also picking Dak, re-signing. Most improved team for Bowen was Washington football team. For Clay, the Browns. Seifert, the Patriots. And Walder, the Patriots. I kind of see it. I kind of see it for all of them. So they were asked to predict Kenny Galladay's stat line with the Giants. They got him roughly in the 78 catches range and probably closer to 900 yards if I'm doing averages in my head, with 7 touchdowns. Not bad stats. Not bad at all for Kenny Galladay. What is the most underrated move so far in free agency? Kevin Ziegler to the Ravens is what Bowen picked. William Jackson III going to the Washington football team is who Clay had. Jeremy Fowler, national NFL writer. He says Gerald Everett going to the Seahawks, a tight end. Tight ends can be good there, but we'll see. Oh, Seifert. This hurts. He says Andy Dalton to the Bears. Now, I'll get to this conversation again later. But for now, I'll let Seifert have his moment. Darrell Williams, offensive tackle for the Bills. Probably a solid player. That's why he went with him. You know what? Just because he brought it up. Oh, because he brought it up. Let's talk about the Andy Dalton deal. Let's start with how I think about Andy Dalton. I honestly think he's not bad. Do I think the Bengals gave him opportunities? Yes, they always did. And he always crumbled in the playoffs. But I also think they didn't have a good enough defense for the playoffs. A stat I saw the other day for Andy Dalton. He had 2 seasons with 4,000 passing yards. Bears quarterbacks since 1920, 0. It's very interesting. It's a little concerning. But here's my feelings on this topic. Andy Dalton should have been signed last year. We had the ability to sign him for cheaper, and we could have compared him with Mitch by far. I still like Mitch. Mitch went to a great place in Buffalo. Will he be a good backup in Buffalo? I believe so. He'll be a great backup. I don't I don't see the year ending well for Bears. I think Matt Nagy will make some poor choices. We'll have to see how the draft goes, but right now it's downhill. I think our offense will show more promise, but I don't see the defense being the defense we know. I think the defense will take another step back, bigger step back, now that Fuller's gone and other pieces are gone. Yeah, we're trying to fill those pieces in with some decent players, which, again, decent players, but they're not great. Last but not least, let's just say it. Again, Andy Dalton should have been signed last year. This year, he's overpaid. Overpaid. And I know they know it. Foles is probably going to get traded. We're going to be in talks with the Seahawks, but we'll see where that goes. It's dead as of right now. Are we going back to the playoffs? As of right now, I say no. The Bears are not going next year. We will be one of the teams that fall out and not make it. Could we improve? Yeah, we could improve. Could we exceed all expectations? Of course. But as of right now, it's just not happening. But that was weird. Let's not do that again. The NFL draft. I was trying to find the date. This is how great of a person I am. So last year we had a virtual draft. This year, end of April 29th, May 1st, is the NFL draft. It is in Cleveland. And we'll see what happens. But what I can tell you is Biro Sports Talk starting next week. We'll start next week. Because I believe that will give me 4. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then draft. Yep. So starting next week, we will start our draft analysis. Who do we think goes to these teams? Let's start with the East, work our way to the West, go to the South, and then the North. That's how we're going to go. East, West, South, North. I always like to end with the Bears and the North, so be ready for that. Just because I need to show it again. We got Twitter, we got YouTube, we got Facebook. Look for us, Biro Sports Talk, Biro Sports Gaming on Twitch. But all I expect is to grow, and I hope to continue. I can't do it without you guys, so thank you. If you tune in now, tune in later, it doesn't matter. You're at least tuning in, that's what does matter. Thank you, and I will see you all next Thursday, 7 p.m.